I'm sorry, he told me, didn't mean for that, and, I'm sorry, Dad, I'm sorry, you should let me know. I'd have taken out the back door. That was me and my dad. We had a different kinship like that. So, we laughed, and then we go down the road, and he's like, you got any of that food left? And of course I did. I had cookies and chips in my pockets, and so, we laughed, and went down the road, and we think we would've got some to eat. Some time later, one time, this is a good story, my dad too. Me and some buddies, we'd always go to our house, and my house was pretty open for me and my friends. I was the youngest one. I was the baby, kind of the golden child, and we had some buddies over, and we're all laughing and giggling, and my dad comes in and says, hey, what are you guys going on? I said, oh, nothing. We're gonna go meet some girls and go hang out at the party and whatever. He's like, I need your help. So, we headed out the door, and with my dad. Of course, some of my buddies, they love my dad because the stuff, they all kind of knew. So we went down to off the street, off York Street somewhere, down where the Coliseum is, now it's like $1 million loss, but back then it was, a bunch of suburban white kids didn't need to be running around down there, but there was a trailer, and my dad had these tires, and we were trying to get these tires on next to fit, and we didn't even have a jack, so me and some buddies would lift the trailer up, and we couldn't get these tires on, and so whatever, one of my buddies laughed, well, we just get this, so we just grabbed the trailer and put it on the back of the other trailer we had. So we drove home, and we left my dad. We're all sitting at this party, and I'll never forget my buddy John's story. Kind of looked, and he kind of looked at us and said, he didn't hang out with us as much as some other buddies, but he was like, you gonna talk about what just happened? He's like, did we just steal a trailer? And my buddy Max, who was a pretty witty dude, real quick, says, hey, whoa, be careful what you're saying there, We didn't steal it. The trailer was already stolen. We just had possession of it for a little bit, and then transferred possession. We all laughed, and drank some more beer and laughed, and that was a fun night. Later in life, my dad, we started to make money. Like my brother said, my dad would hand me hundreds like they were Tic Tacs at one time. I remember these times during this one summer, me and my cousin, we met these girls on Boulder, and we would go to, they wanted to go to Waterworld all the time, so we'd go to Waterworld. I'd call my dad, and we'd say, Dad, how can I get some money? Yeah, I'm going to Waterworld. So I'd meet him somewhere, probably at a restaurant or somewhere where he was, and he'd give me some money. And he always loved it because my cousin does. He was funny. We'd all slowly try, Waterworld. We get louder and louder, Waterworld, and we'd take off. And my dad would always just giggle, and he just loved that. He would just love seeing the smile on my face and the smile on our faces, and it was amazing. And after that, like I said, me and my dad started working together. Shit, that's when the real fun started. Me and my dad, we spent every day of our life together for a long time. So, I could be up here for days telling you stories, but we had a lot of fun just working. And one time my dad just sat there and he's like, hey, he's been looking at this Hummer for a while. We decided to go to MedMed and look at this Hummer that he wanted, and we looked at it, and we were going back and forth, and they had this H2 and then this H1 over here, and somehow by the end of the day, we walked out, or not walked, we drove out of there with two Hummers, an H1 Hummer and an H2 Hummer, a couple crazy Mexican guys, $200,000 in debt, but we had these cars, for some reason the news was there, they got with pictures of us, and we were on the news about it. Who knows? But like I said, David, after that, a lot of our days spent would work together. We'd go a lot of places, and Capri Chicken, my dad, those places. My dad was a legend. We could walk through the door, back door, Capri Chicken. Joe, what are you doing? Hey, come on in. Like I said, we pull up my dad's home. Like I said, some guys probably thought we were the drug cartel. We were just a couple guys just hanging out, but that's just what we did. And, we'd eat there, and of course there's, Mexico City Lounge. We had the original Alberto's my dad always go to, and then, the infamous, what do you call it, the Combine Steakhouse in McCoy's. Same thing at the Combine Steakhouse. That place could have a line out the door. Me and my dad would pull up and walk through the back kitchen like it was like we owned the place. And Joe, hey, and we got our porterhouse steaks and a big baked potato, and they put enough butter on there basically kill a Clydesdale. But somehow me and my dad eat there 4 days a week probably. They bring him his special plate. He got his peppers and his jalapenos, and he would sit there sweating sweat and sweat could be, and I was just, I was the white boy of the family kind, and I couldn't take that, but I laughed at him like, dude, you look like you just got out of the pool, he's sweating so bad. But, with all those, it was amazing. A lot of people don't know, the entrepreneurship, like my brother said, the intelligence of my father. My father was an airplane mechanic. Not too many people know that. He decided to go one day to become an airplane mechanic. And, crazy story. He'd always tell me, man, this is just so small. I'm like, well, Dad, you're 6'4", 280. That's like, saying you want to join the circus and drive the clown car. Starting on the best thing, but he did it. You're so smart, and with that. And then he also, he designed clothes. I remember as a kid, he wanted to be a clothes designer, and I remember these drawings he made. They were so amazing. Something like Michael Jackson would wear, but it was just amazing, just drawings of it, and that was just my dad. And then, I still tell these stories, and some people think I'm crazy, but these wingsuits, you see these guys jump out of a plane, they're winging. My dad had that idea years before that came out. But his idea, of course, grandiose, he's like, if you ever jump out of a plane with this giant wing, you're gonna just, die or flip, or take the plane down. So he designed this thing where these louvers would come out, and he was like carbon fiber, and slowly get big. You could fly for days. In his mind, he could fly from here to Mexico, But that was my dad. And then he actually had a thing about, turbines, wind turbines. He designed that. So he's had so much. And so when my dad passed, I sat at my bedside, my mother, God bless you, my mother next to me, the most beautiful woman on this planet. She to my left, and my brother David to the cross, and Mary Beth, and Becca. We were all there, and there were some other people in the room, but we were there next to his bedside, and we had our hand on his chest. And when he was taking his last breath, my dad said he was a fighter. We had any blood in his body, but he still kept going. And he took his breath, and I know when he closed his eyes, we were there with him. I know that meant a lot to him, because like David said, his family was everything to him. There's a motivational speaker that just made me think of this. Is Les Brown, and he'll state, and I implore maybe everybody sitting in this room, maybe you have a dream or you have a hope or a dream you want to go after, like my dad. Because Les Brown says when you pass away, there's not just your family next to you, but all those hopes and dreams you had die with you. So don't let. Don't let some of your hopes and dreams die. Follow some of those passions. Even if you don't have $1 in your pocket, you can still do it. Yes. Thank you.